Hey guys, so today we're going to be going over how to manage callus formation between climbing and strength training. So if you're a climber and you do strength training, so you do stuff like deadlifts, cleans, or pull-ups and stuff like that, you'll notice that your calluses will tend to be very sore after either thing, and then if you want to climb or want to deadlift after doing the other, it'll be a little harder. Uh, Sometimes you'll even like rip off calluses and it can be very annoying. So I wanted to make a video on how to manage this problem. So a big thing you're going to want to be conscious of is like what causes the calluses to form and what like stimulates and stresses your calluses. So for climbing, that's going to be stuff like crimps, rough holds, and real rocks. So it included like two examples of like polar opposites. So on the left you have the dual tech holds, which are like really soft on your hands. You're not gonna really tear yourself up. And on the right, I have a real rock crimp, which is gonna just tear up your skins. In terms of strength training, you're gonna be wanting to pay attention to deadlifts, the Olympic lifts where you're using like hook grip, and then pull-ups, all things that like stress your calluses, and you're gonna want to be thinking about like how you're gripping the bar. If you're gonna want to mitigate stress on this, I'll talk a little bit about that later. So you're gonna want to train calluses like anything else. You wouldn't max out every day on a deadlift or a clean. So why would you do that with calluses? You're just gonna end up stressing them too much, and they're gonna end up falling off. It's the same thing. If you too little stress and you're not gonna grow anything. Too much stress and you're gonna also not grow anything because you're just gonna break yourself apart. So to do this, you're gonna want to use a combination of hard and easy days, just like you would with any other movement. And if the fatigue is too high, if your calluses are starting to hurt, if you see rips starting to happen, you're gonna want to reduce the fatigue on them. So you're gonna want to pair. In order to do this, you're gonna want to pair like heavy calloused activity on the same days, and then low callus activity on other days, so they have time to recover. So just like, yeah, it's just like periodization for like a squat or anything like that. You're gonna want to do like day 1 hard day, day 2 easy day 3 hard day 4 easy day. So I included some kind of examples. So maybe day 1 in the gym you do clean, so you're pulling on your calluses when you're pulling the bar, and then at the gym you do crimpy routes, so you're stressing your calluses when you're climbing. And then day 2 for your easy day you'll bench, since you're just kind of pushing through your palm, you're not really stressing your fingers and your calluses. And then slopers, just like the dual tech holds as I was talking about, they won't stress your hands as much, and they won't like rip up your skin, stuff like that. Day 3 we're going to move back into heavy callus activity stuff, so deadlifts, outdoor climbing where you're going to be going up against the rock, which is really rough, and then day 4 back again to easy stuff, so overhead press, which is not going to be hurting your calluses at all, and like powerful move, dynamic stuff to big holds that you're really comfortable with holding on to. You're not going to tear up your skin, stuff like that. So how to mitigate callus formation. This is another thing. If you could just mitigate the formation of calluses in general, you're not going to be ripping. So ways you can do this is climbing, and climbing is like gripping holds the right way. You're going to want to stray away from like gripping a hold sideways, or like not using the right like pads of your skin based on the hold. This is just something you kind of learn, and you could probably do more research into this. But if you're not finding yourself to be having problems with gripping holds, I wouldn't worry too much about that. The big thing to focus on probably is more control. So if you're doing like dynamic movements, or even like dead points to crimp, stuff like that, you're going to want to think a lot about not slapping the hold, because that can, anything like really strong and like at one time it could possibly damage your calluses. So just be like, even with dynamic movements, just be in control the whole time. And then on the strength training side, you're going to want to grip the bar with your fingers, not your calluses. So this is something I think everyone who strength trains needs to learn. But you're not like, if you're deadlifting, you don't want the bar to rest on your calluses. You see how that kind of pushed up my calluses, you're going to want the bar to be on your fingers. So you're actually, one, this is going to train your grip better because you're not going to be relying on the tension in your calluses. You're going to actually be holding the bar. And then two, you're not going to be scrunching up your calluses. It's going to be, the load is like perpendicular. Yeah, the load is perpendicular as opposed to parallel, so you're not going to be moving against the skin. You're going to be moving, towards the skin as opposed to against the skin and ripping it. And then another big thing is paying attention to the knurling. If you go to a commercial gym and you have access to multiple different bars with different types of knurling, you're going to want to, if you're going for like a easy low load callus day, you can use a like thin light knurling bar. And if you're going for like a high load callus day or like a deadlift max, stuff like that where you really need grip, then use a higher knurled bar so that you can get more stress on your calluses when you need to. So finally, I'll just talk a little bit about Callus Care. So you want to trim big calluses before they rip. So if you have a tool too, that's nice, but you can also use like nail files and even nail clippers if the callus is really big, stuff like that. You could, just like, if it seems like the callus is about to rip, you can kind of work on it, trim it down, and kind of file it down, stuff like that. And then also, if calluses are like a big problem and you find your skin's tearing a lot and it's very raw a lot, you might consider getting something like Climb Skin, just something to put on your skin to like moisturize it, strengthen it, stuff like that. I've personally never used these products, so I can't really give you a good opinion on them, but I have friends that say they're pretty good, so if that's a problem, it might be something you want to try out. That's about all I have, so I'm on, lift on, and stay strong. See you next time.